It's me, Carmine DeStefano, the Bookman. Back in the early 90s, ID Software released a game called Doom, a first-person shooter maze-type 3D thing that got everybody on board until it sort of lost its way over the years. Now Bethesda teamed up with ID Software to give it the new-gen kick in the latest release, Doom! Does it hold up in the here and now? Well, let's take a look at it together, shall we? I'm all naked and wet. You're a space marine who got his ass to Mars during an experiment that was supposed to benefit mankind. Always for mankind's benefit. During that, this woman released demons on everyone to remake the world. What a bitch. And now you have to go through the facility and the planet with all your weapon upgrades and armor upgrades at your disposal. And you can do that in single player mode, multiplayer mode, or snap mat mode. And that's pretty much it. So what do I think of this game? It's Doom and it's a first-person shooter. There really isn't much else I can say. It's a first-person shooter and it's Doom. You fight demons in a first-person shooter aspect. You have weapons at your disposal. You have upgrades and all this other good shit. It's like the same game, only brought out in the new generation. And this time I can say with full confidence, the graphics are okay, but the motion capture of each creature and your character, from what I can tell, they're pretty realistic, which is more than I can say for most games of the new generation. The gunplay is good and the action is high impact. I do like the glory kills to give it a little bit different flavor, and since it's Bethesda, there is lore up the asshole. There are tons of power-ups as well as heal-ups and ammo that gets dropped with enemy kills. This could be because I'm on normal difficulty. I would hate to see this on hard difficulty because the enemies have almost killed me a bunch of times already. The enemies themselves are kind of diverse, and they do remind you a little bit of the ones back in the old days. However, there weren't this many degrees of them, and I don't really remember imps, but I'm pretty sure there were there. I do like how they try to explain health upgrades or weapon upgrades. It is easy to sift through your weapons as well as the upgrades themselves. And the tutorial is somewhat thorough. However, close range combat is for shit, and the fact that you always have to shoot off the side of your hip does not lend to a lot of headshots. And after all, when it comes to first-person shooters, those headshots are what people really want. Your character is superpowered, but then we go back to that tired old storyline where humanity is trying to evolve and fucks everything up in the process, and thus this gives you your power. If I play another game with that storyline, I swear to fuck, I'm going to choke somebody to death. It is the same thing over and over again. And there's always one asshole that, for whatever reason, made it a mess. I do have to say that the checkpoints are very generous, and they have to be because you can't save on your own. I also have to say that it's kind of stupid to have to pick multiplayer mode and snapback mode to play the game. Even if you started in one of these modes, if you try to play in the other modes, you have to start the whole fucking thing over again. That's bullshit. I'm not one for first-person shooters, but those that are usually want to play online, either competitively, cooperatively, or all three. However, if you accidentally chose single player mode first, campaign mode, whatever, you're going to have to delete all the progress you've made if you want to be on the multiplayer side. It's pretty snappy, it's pretty colorful, but it doesn't really look any different than anything I've gotten used to. The firepower is nice, the weapons are pretty diverse, I still haven't used the chainsaw, I'd like to see that in action, but pretty much it's the same game I've played so often in the past. Overall, if first-person shooters are your thing, you might want to get this one anyway, but if they're not your thing, like me, there really isn't anything about this, not the graphics, not the processing power, nothing about it that makes it stand out on its own. So basically, it's going to be the same first-person shooter you've been playing the last 15, 20 years. And thank you all for watching. I have more for you soon to come. So stay tuned, take care, and have a great day. After all these years, you can keep the Moogles and guys named Sid. Just give me another opera.